right, man. Welcome back to Agree to Disagree. And if you're new, welcome to Agree to Disagree. I'm my boy Jay Lloyd, Craig, Pops, and we got BG. All right, man. This is something we talked about at the beginning of the season. He was supposed to be the favorite for the MVP this year. They're struggling a little bit right now. 14th in the West, 11 and 14. He's still putting up great numbers, but it's just not really showing in the wins and losses columns. So my question to you guys is, are we holding Luka accountable for this slow start? I'm going to start with you, BG.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was Craig or John or Jared brought it up a while ago where, his immaturity, right? We talked about it. I saw something about, JJ Barea, who played with him for a couple of years, basically saying once he figures it out, once he's mature, once he comes in shape, he'll be fine. And I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, Porzingis was out, but it's just so inconsistent to me, right? And even like inconsistent, like he'll go for 30, 40 one night, and then the next night or a couple games later, he'll go for 12 or 14, which I mean, it's still not the worst, but if we're holding him to a high standard, and I had him winning the MVP, it's just not looking too good. And a couple games I watched too, and I don't know if you guys have seen him play. He's very animated with Carlisle. I don't know if there's something there. I don't want to make it a bigger deal than what it is, but there's been a couple times like late game situations or even running plays at certain times where he just kind of butts heads, right? And obviously, we all know Carlisle is just going to make it his way. That's why him and Rondo kind of got into it when Rondo was there. But I'm going to hold him accountable. I try to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I think, once you've reached a certain level and people expect a lot out of you, you got to try to bring it every night. I'm not saying he should go for 30 every night, but I think he's capable of it for sure. So I wasn't going to hold him accountable because he had injuries on his team, big part, but I'm going to for sure, hold him accountable because he's been back for a while now. So,
yeah. Go ahead, Craig.
I wish I'd have went after Pops because I want to see if you admit that we're giving them the pass. I don't know, man. I mean, we talk about the standings, but really, the only terrible team in the West is the Timberwolves, but everybody else is about 4 games away from each other in this crazy season. I don't know, man. It's hard for me to, if a guy's averaging almost 30 points a game, to really hold him. I mean, what more can you do? Now, I'm always on him about, being in shape and coming into the season. I think that's when he'll go to the next level. But it's hard for me to say somebody putting up 30 a game. He's putting up, 28, 10, and 9. I mean, I don't know what else. I mean, would he have to be putting up 35? I don't know what else he would have to do to – what more could he do? I mean, what we're arguing about what superstars are, it's like, I don't know what else. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's maybe like you're saying, Brian, another deep playoff run. Next year he comes in more mature. Also, too, like you said, you need a Batman and a Robin. Porzingis, he's been out. I mean, I just don't know what more he can do. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves.
Pops.
Should we give him a pass? I'm not going to give him a pass, but what I am going to say, he's young, and sometimes you have to be mature and grow. But we're talking about a dude. He's putting up 30, double figures in assists, double figures in rebound, and we're talking about a dude that came into camp out of shape. That team. Now, Carlisle, his history with Carlisle, B brought it up. Carlisle has a tendency at certain times, he can rub you the wrong way. And I don't think Carlisle needs to play that game with this dude, but Luka, and then he lost some key pieces. There's some guys that in that bubble play real solid, but then there's some guys that are not on that team anymore. And then there's the guys that they put in place that they're not stepping up to that standard that they had in the bubble. Here again, man, we're gonna go on records, but this dude was putting up what Craig said, 30, 10, and whatever, and we talking about he's out of shape. We This is what he's doing on a night in, night out basis. And we're going to say, no, the team's struggling, but because the team is struggling, he's going to get the blame. Why? Because we were talking about that. He's a superstar. So he's going to get the blame regardless. Carlisle's not going to get that, but even when everybody predicted him to be MVP, Carlisle was the first person that popped off about him being out of shape and then all this and that. But this man still learning, this kid is still learning the game. And here again, box office, and he's a walking triple-double, must-see TV. I'm not giving a pass. He got to step up, but he shouldn't take the blame because he lost some key pieces, and he has pieces around him that haven't stepped up. Here's Robin, Porzingis. We don't really know we still don't know what Porzingis is going to be. So I'm like, no, I'm not going to put all the blame on him. My man, Luka. Let's go, Luke.
Go ahead, Jay.
Well, I think he's fine. I feel like Russell Westbrook, that's all I was just looking at for myself. Russell Westbrook won MVP in 2017 when he averaged 31, 10, and 10. And this cat Luka is averaging 28, 9, and 9. So, I mean, I don't know. I feel like, and Russell Westbrook, did they make the playoffs that year? I think they barely made it. I want to say the year they won MVP. They barely made it. Didn't get out the first round, any of that. But at the end of the day, I think Luka's fine, man. Statistically, he's fine. You know, you got it. It's still a team sport. You know, Porzingis is shooting a career low 31% from three this year. They can't play the small ball lineups that I think Carlisle loves to play because Porzingis has the same effect on defense. I thought last year Porzingis played a little better defensively before he got hurt, and he was able to put Porzingis at that 5. And put Porzingis at that 5, the Mavericks look a lot different, but he's not defending the same this year. So, yeah, man, at the end of the day, yes, you got to get some blame. You're the best player on your team, and your team's not doing well. But I still think, like Craig said, man, the dude is averaging 28, 9, and 9 in his third year. What was KD doing in his third year? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was LeBron even doing in his third year? Like, if we look at the numbers, he's done more than those dudes did in their first 2 or 3 years. So, as we always say, we got to give it a little bit of time. He's done a lot. Luka's going to be fine.
Can I say something real quick? I think I already said it. I'm going to piggyback what Pop said. I just think he can even be that much better if he got in shape and he came in shape. And I think I said this before a couple of shows ago. I said it multiple times. Jokic is a big example of that, which is why that pushed his game to a whole nother level. He's not genetically, he wasn't gifted that way, but that dude, he came in this year looking the best he ever did. I think if Luka does that, he can only get better. So I think that might be the extra nudge he might need to lead his team over the hill.
I respect the views. Yeah, I'm kind of I don't know who to blame. I mean, because you look at Luka, like Greg said, he's a walking triple double. But like Jay said and Pop said, someone has to take the blame because he is a superstar. He did come into the playoff. I mean, come into this season out of shape. He did come into this season favored to win MVP. So it's not fair, but he's gonna get that blame. If this was LeBron James, who's also a superstar, and we're saying Luka's a superstar, if LeBron James was 11 and 14 and AD was not playing, they would be destroying LeBron James right now. Why? Because there's a high expectation held for LeBron James. Now, I'm not saying Luka's held to that same standard, but he is held to the standard as being a transcending player and was a favorite as the MVP. But you guys do make a good point with Carlisle. Bringing up Rondo was a great example. I think Carlisle is kind of controlling at times. But yeah, I did see a few games where Luka kind of does. He's a little animated, but I think Luka's kind of. Yeah, I think that's just him though. I don't know if it's necessarily him and Carlisle bumping heads. You can see during the games how he's animated with the refs and all that. So I don't know. It might just be his personality, or but I don't know, man. I do think they're gonna turn it around. Still plenty of games left in the season, but if anyone has to take the blame, it's got to be him. You're the face, you're the superstar. You got to take it.
Well, yeah, he's going to get the blame. He's going to get the blame. But I'm looking at some of my research here. How much blame should we really give him? I mean, he's 11. They are what? 11-14. And the Denver Nuggets are 12-11, and they're the AC. So, come on. The Denver Nuggets are the AC right now. And they are like 2.5 games right now out of AC being 11-14. So is it more of these guys? Let's say the whole league. I think what happened, these guys really didn't, man, all these players. That's why the games are so weird, different games, people losing. Because none of these guys are in shape. If you really look at the way NBA is going right now, I mean, the Denver Nuggets are the 8th seed, 12-11, barely playing 500 basketball, and they were in the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers. So
he's lost a lot of games for me in fantasy basketball. That's why I'm kind of on him. So, just disclaimer. It's one of the main reasons I said what I said, because he's lost me a few games, but he's also won me a lot. So,
and my take on it is just I feel like I get what you're saying, Pops. The Nuggets were in the Western Conference Finals last year, but I still think Luka expectation this year was higher than Jokic. His ceiling was higher. His expectation was higher. Like I said, he was the favorite to win the MVP. Coming out of the bubble and what he did to the Clippers without Porzingis, I think people were expecting him to kind of turn that corner this year. So it is a shock that they're second to last in the Western Conference. It is still early, but what I'm trying to get across is he's a superstar, man. LeBron James got the blame when they lost to Golden State, and this man led in every single category. Why? Because he's LeBron James. He had no chance of winning that, and he still was ridiculed because he's LeBron James and he's held to a higher standard.
The standard, hey, the standard.
He's not reaching his standard. He's not reaching his standard right now. He's playing great.
Those stats that
Craig has to find a way to. So they should be the second. They should be second to the last in the West right now.
According to the numbers, so what he got to do? He got to go 40, 15, and 10.
So, but what I'm asking,
he was in shape. He probably would be able to.
What? But that's what I'm saying. Like you're
yeah.
Like B said, you come in out of shape, and now your team is not doing so great. Pops, at the beginning of the season, if I told you after 26 games that they would be second to last in the West, would anyone believe that?
That's just like I can't believe the Denver Nuggets are the 8th seed right now.
I know, but you're. I'm gonna use your quote. We giving a pass right now, man. That's what it sounds like. I would give. Are we giving Luka a pass? If you're giving him a pass, I respect it.
He come in with the heat. He come in with the smoke. But here's the same thing. Why is Denver 12-11?
Not the same thing, man. It's not. Not. Did Jokic come in 20 pounds heavier?
He came in the best shape of his life.
Did he come in as the reigning MVP? I don't want to go back and forth. So, are we giving Luka a pass?
I'm not giving him a pass. But what I'm saying,
that's all. That's it. That's all I want. No pass for Pops.
So Denver is okay then. They good.
No, we can do a topic on Denver next week, so we can talk about how they're underachieving too. But right now, we're talking about Luka and him underachieving. So
Even though he's
I was
killing, he's
underachieving
still
right now.
I
yeah.
think 28, 9, and 9 is underachieving. But if that's underachieving, there's a whole lot of cats in the
Hey
NBA.
man, hey, if there was no stat book and we just watching games and there was nothing being statted, will he be underachieving? Yes, he is. But now the fact that we can see these numbers and how the game focused and fixated on numbers, he's not underachieving because he's putting up numbers. I guess.
If y'all don't stop that analytics stuff,
Yes, man. You brought it up. You
It's
say he's putting up
true.
numbers.
yes, but
I don't know, man. It just seems like nowadays, as long as you put up numbers, James Harden, winning doesn't really like.
That's what I'm saying. But like I said before, everybody, I don't care how good you are, everybody can win a championship.
It's not even about being a championship, correct? If I told you at the beginning of the year they would be second to last in the Western Conference, would you believe that? Would you be disappointed if I told you that they're second to last in playoffs? Is that underachieving for what he's coming off what he did last
It is
year?
underachieving. But like I said earlier, though,
That's all I'm saying. I
but
didn't say
if
he
you
had to
if you
come
look at
out
the
and win
number,
Finals MVP.
but it's still time because really, there's 4 or 5 games that separates all these teams from
I agree.
5 down, from
I think
4 down.
I think what we're saying is he shouldn't even be in that position
At all.
Like he should be in the middle of the pack. Like I think at least.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay, they have one more win. They might be 8th. They could be in 8th place in 2 days. You know what I mean? Based on how tight everything is.
But we're talking about right now, man. Like, are they? What is that? What you got? Is that where you guys thought they would be? AC. You guys picked him to be MVP earlier, about 2-3 weeks ago. Is that where you guys would expect the MVP that you picked to be, the 8th seed in the West? Underachieving. I just don't know why we're picking this. Like, I don't get it. I guess. Hey, you got something, man? Can you kind of summarize both sides and what you're like? I'm trying to.
I see what you're saying.
I just feel like winning isn't being valued as much as it used to.
I see what you're saying, John, in terms of that. Man. But in one of our previous episodes, we talked about how great Jokic is playing and how he's in shape, and they're the 8th seed. So I just think at the end of the day, all these teams are really underachieving. All these teams are doing well. I understand what Pops is saying. Like
I feel like those are 2 different topics, Jay. We were talking about who's the best big in the league. That's what we were talking about. Who's the best bigs in the league?
No, he is. But we're in that talk. We talked about him being an MVP candidate this year. We said that he's an MVP candidate. We all said that. But can he be an MVP candidate with the 8th seed? We would say, he's probably underachieving a little bit. It's the same thing with Luka. They're not winning right now. They're not winning. They're not winning.
Definitely underachieving. But we're not talking about Jokic right now. We're talking about Luka Doncic. And if you would have asked me last week who I think was going to be MVP, I would agree with you and said LeBron James. But we did those predictions like a month ago. I said Jokic at the time. Now, seeing how Jokic is playing, he's definitely underachieving. But we can do that next week and talk about how Nuggets aren't underachieving. But right now, we're talking about the Dallas Mavericks and Luka Doncic. Wow,
He's saying you with that calm voice.
Stop
deflecting. Let me say
Stop deflecting. That counts as giving him a pass, Pops. When you deflect, that's giving him a pass. You deflected.
Can I add something real quick? I think too we're also not valuing how much better the West is this year as well.
I respect that, man.
Because look, who thought Utah would be number 1? Who thought the Suns would be that good after Chris Paul? I mean, we can't not talk about that. I mean,
Lakers number 1 in the West, aren't they?
No,
nope.
Utah
19-5.
Utah won like 8 straight, I think, or 7 straight.
They started off slow.
Yeah.
So
Utah 9-1 their last 10 games. Hottest team in the NBA.
Oh, well.
I mean, we got, and that's what I'm saying. Like when you look at the schedule, you got 1 through 3 with 17 wins, but you got 4 through 14. All these records can change a lot with them in the next 5 days.
I respect that. Hey man, winning. and multiple topics, talk about multiple players is a factor. But right now, it's not a factor. It's not a factor right now. So I'm just trying to find a balance of when it's a factor and when it's not. But I could have misread that wrong. But Luka gets blamed. Okay, in my opinion, he gets blamed. He's the superstar. He's the best player on his team. He was the favorite to be the MVP, so he has to get the blame. Jokic, we'll talk about you next week, but you get blamed too. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. Okay, but thanks for watching, man. Let us know down in the comments. Does Luka get a pass? Are you guys gonna hold him accountable? But thanks for watching. This is Agree to Disagree. I'm my boy Jay Lloyd, Fred, Pops, my guy BG. And I'm John, man. Till next time. We out.